Hi, I'm Susan, and today I want to show you how I make these dangle earrings. They have a beautiful little stud back, just a regular flat back earring that's glued onto a bead. You can see the sideways there, and they're just a little different than most people using a hook type of earring. So you can sew them, you can make them as dangly as you want, as big as you want. You can use any earring, and any bead that has a flat backing to it. So if you make your beads with a flat back, you can make them into a dangle, and this is how we're going to do it. So let's get started. So to start to make a pair of earrings, I'm going to use a needle and thread. I have stretched my 9/0 thread. This is probably, it's doubled up, so probably like 3 feet, maybe 2 feet of thread. It's not a lot. It's great actually to use a scrap of thread. These are 2 marguerites that I'm going to use as my centerpieces, and I'm just going to show you with one because that's all you need. So we're going to go straight through the marguerite, and I am going to leave a tail on this thread intentionally, and I am going to add my size 11 seed bead for the centerpiece and pull it through. So we just have the bead in the middle. I am then going to make a knot, a surgeon's knot, any kind of knot. It's not going to really hold this because, let's be honest, if you pull that bead on the other end, it'll slide right through. It's just to keep it from pulling through while you're trying to do the other sides of it. So you'll understand in a minute when I start adding the other beads, where this just holds it a little steady. So I'm just doing a surgeon's knot, which is twice over and twice under. Very simple knot. And I am going to hold this tail with my thumb so that this does not come out or loosen up. Now I'm going to add, let's just say 3 of these size 11 green seed beads and a size 8, and let's see, we'll go with 4 size 15s, a pearl, and 4 again. I'm making this up as I go if you can't tell. But it doesn't really matter what the pattern is, how you want the beads to sit. It just matters that you hold the tail and you follow through on both earrings the same way. And now I'm just going to go back up through these green beads because I want the other one to be a dangle. And I'm going to go back up through the center of the flower and try not to skewer this bead that's right here. And so I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to do something kind of peculiar. I want this thread to not go past the flower edge, so I'm just going to hold that with my finger so that it stays there. And my reason why is because the back of this I want to be able to glue, a earring back to it, and if there's beads here, the earring back won't lay flat, and then the earring won't lay flat against the ear. So those exposed threads are going to be covered up, but you need them right now to be able to dangle like this. So just leave that length there and don't worry about it, because that will be important to you. Now you can add 5, 6, 10 dangles coming off of this and make giant earrings if you like. Smaller earrings, it doesn't matter. That is your choice. I am just showing you a smaller earring because it's just easier to do. And so I'm going to add 5 of these size 11 seed beads and 4 of the 15s, and I'm going to add the other pink pearls. And there's my snoring puppy once again. And I'm going to add 4 more of the 15s so that I get these nice little teardrops. I kind of like the way they look. They have kind of an organic look, and I don't want them to hang exactly the same. So I prefer to add a few different seed beads so I get some different length. And I'm going to go back through this flower once again. Now, if you just wanted the pearls as your dangle, that's perfectly fine. You don't necessarily have to have a lot. But because I don't stop at one thing easily, see, now I'm just going to hold that once again with my fingers so I make sure I have that thread pulling down. And now I'm going to add the last seed bead that will be in the center here and pull it through. And now I'm going to add 6 of these green size 11s, an 8, and oh, I forgot these crystals. Let's add one of these crystal bicones because these are in the necklace and I really like the way they look. And we'll add these size 6 gold beads just because, once again, I like the way they look. No rhyme or reason. And I'm going to add a stopper bead, which will be a size 15. And so let me pull that all up on top of there. And once again, you can see where we're getting to the edge there. And now I'm just going to go backwards through this. Now, if you wanted to add, say, 5 or 6 different dangles, just go back through these seed beads in the center here so that you have something to grab onto and hold this thread tight. Otherwise, when you go to glue it, it's not going to stay in this position. It will pop back up. And I don't like to count on the glue to hold it together. I prefer to have the thread do its job and the glue do its job. Keep them separate. So if the back did for some reason unadhere to itself, this earring would not fall apart. So now once again, I am just going to thread through another knot. And this doesn't have to be a surgeon's knot or a fancy knot, just one to hold it together so things don't pull apart. Now I am going to cut this end kind of long. And if you're wondering why I'm cutting it long, it's easier to hold this when I'm gluing, and I can hold it down here with the others. It's just that when I'm trying to glue it and I have this cut, it has a tendency to fall back into the flower and not be very cooperative. So I have E6000, well, maybe that's the right way, and I am just going to put a dab of E6000 on here. Now that is clearly too much, so I'll just dab the rest on a piece of paper here. Now I have these ear studs that are flat back, and I get these from Fire Mountain, but I will put the link on, and they're just flat little studs that glue on. Now you can use these with any polymer clay earrings you make. You just glue them on and let them sit for a while to dry. Now I trim this up now. That way I can make sure that I don't have these threads sticking out. But it was just, I've tried to do this with them shorter and it's not cooperative. It's much easier to let them sit. But once this dries, then you have a perfect little earring that matches everything you do. So you could do this with any flat back round bead. You can make any bead that you can make round, you can flatten it and use it for an earring. So that's just how you make your dangles on it. And you can also buy the backs separately. I bought them by the bag from Fire Mountain also. You can buy gold or silver depending on what you want, and these will, they have the nice equalizers so that the earring doesn't lean forward when you're working with it, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks a lot for watching.